What's going on YouTube? It's Trev. Good morning, everyone. Today, we actually got what we had been looking for and waiting for a couple of days, trying to figure out when it was going to happen. Let me bring you over to LUNC Dash. First off, let me talk about this. Happy Caddy Crypto. I haven't talked to him, right? But, I've heard through the grapevine that he went in for another back surgery. He had, he was laid up in bed, couldn't move after his pretty bad accident where he broke his back. Went through a lot of pain, a lot of rehab, finally got up on his feet. And I'm sure somebody knows. I just don't know what it is that happened. Or if this back surgery was planned all along. I really don't have the details on it. All I can really say is that I wish for a really speedy recovery. I hope that whatever this surgery was, it was something that gets you back to something close to 100%. This is a man who has really done an awful lot for this Terra Classic community, and I just best wishes really is all I can offer. But I noticed that I actually, because I had closed out the tab, so I went back to it. I was looking for LUNC Penguins, and when I Googled it, couldn't really find it. This is what it came up as, LUNC Dash, not LUNC Penguins anymore. Although there still is a little penguin icon up on the tab. Again, those of you who follow Happy on a regular basis probably know what's going on. Hopefully somebody knows what's going on. I know that really nobody's heard from him in the last month or so. Leave comments in the comment section because I don't know what's going on. I've actually reached out to Strath Cole, who worked closely with Happy, and I haven't received a reply yet, but I'm just curious as to how he's doing, what's going on, what the intentions are moving forward, how long his recovery might be. But let's all put out some really good thoughts, some positive vibes for a speedy recovery. So I don't know. We have LUNC Dash now instead of LUNC Penguins. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure who is running it right now. Is Strath keeping the whole thing going? A lot of questions. I don't know. Anyway, I came here to look for the Binance burn of LUNC because I had seen that they had indeed burned this morning. And if you scroll down, it's easy to find on the date, March 2nd, and you got the time, and you see that it's Binance, and you see the total is 8,849,666,174 and some change, right? So 8.8 billion burned. A lot of people were calling between 6 and 10. So spot in the middle, got it, right? There were some tweets that had come out that kind of gave us a clue as to what it was going to be. Good size burn. Not really that great a size burn. That's a matter of perspective, right? It depends on what it is you were actually expecting. If you were expecting or hoping for Binance to burn hundreds of billions, I don't think that was ever even a possibility, but that's things that I saw on Twitter, right? You guys need to temper your expectations and maybe bring them back down to some sort of reality. That's just not going to happen. We're not going to see that. So 8.8 billion. If we go up to the chart, we can see that Binance altogether has burned, that brings them to a total of 28, almost 29 billion. If you look at the chart, you can see that they have the overwhelming large percentage of the existing burns right now, and including the burn tax, we're looking at a total burn of 48,512,953,372 point whatever, right? After them comes the burn tax, which was 1.2%, now is 0.2%. After that, This next, this purple one here is Lunatic's token. And prior to Binance burning and the burn tax, this big section here, this would have been Lunatic's token. They had by far burned more than double of everyone else, and almost double of everyone else together. Then after that, you got Mexi. But since the Binance burns and the burn tax, and for a while now, we haven't really seen any major burns from anybody else, really. And I want to put into perspective, and I know this isn't popular. I know that a lot of people don't like to hear this, and people, who are, friends of mine, friends of the channel, supporters and subscribers, will always say, hey, love everything that you do, but I don't agree with that last video whenever I talk about burns. And I get it. I understand that there's this mentality of burns as being the way because we had a low supply, then it went to a colossal supply, made the price go down. So the typical thinking is if we get rid of the supply, we can bring the price back up. But that might be true. But the problem that I have with burns is the probability, the actuality of burning that much off, okay? I want to hit you with some numbers, and these numbers need to sink in, right? This is why I feel this way. So right now, we are at a total, including the burn tax, of 48.5 billion LUNC burned, right? In all this time, whatever time period it's been. That's less than half of 100 billion, right? So right now, we know that we're looking at a total supply of 6.8 plus trillion, right? Keep all these numbers in mind. 6.8 trillion. We're at less than half of 100 billion burned right now. Well, it takes 1,000 billions to equal 1 trillion. We're at 6.8 trillion. So we're looking at 6.8 thousand billions to equal the supply, not even equal the supply that we currently have. We have less than half of 100 billion burned. Do you see my point? Burning, Binance could burn that amount. They could double that amount. They could quadruple that amount and burn it every month. And it's not scratching the surface of the supply that we have, right? We could raise that burn tax back up to 1.2, right? And honestly, if you want to do, I'm not doing the math because it's not worth it to me. But if you want to do the math, go back to when we changed from 1.2 to 0.2% up till now, right? Add up everything that has been burned with that 0.2% and then 6x it, right? That will tell you what it would have been had we kept 1.2% this whole time, right? And then add it to, what was burned previous or whatever, and see what you come up with. And then keep in mind those numbers that I just gave you. It takes 1,000 billion to equal 1 trillion, and we have a supply of 6.8 trillion. These burns are not putting a scratch in what we have for supply. So to expect these burns to do anything with the price, it might be a little hype behind a big burn from Binance, and some people will buy in, and then they'll realize that it's not really doing anything, and then they might take some profits. It's not going to move the needle. And if we moved it back up to 1.2%, I don't care if we moved it to 5%. This is why people like Zaradar say these kind of burning initiatives, it'll take 100 years before we get anywhere near the kind of supply that we'd like to see for LUNC. Well, what's the solution, right? I don't know. After all that, I'd love to give you a solution. I don't know what the solution is. Do we need to reduce the supply? Absolutely, we need to reduce the supply. But in my opinion, this is only my opinion, as everything that I say on my channel is my opinion, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, not a legal advisor, anything like that. My opinion is that it is going to take some utility some sort of mechanism that needs to be developed. Maybe that is yet developed or whatever, right? I know that we talk about a repeg, we talk about a lot of things, right? But there's a lot of hurdles, okay? It's going to take that level of utility or that level of mechanism to actually start taking chunks out of this supply. If I scroll down here a little bit, and I want to give a shout out to my man, Richard from Richie's Plain Talk, brand new YouTube channel, really good guy, straight shooter, tells it as he sees it. I may not always agree with his opinion, just like people may not always agree with my opinion, but you always know with Richie, just like you always know with me, that that's what you're getting is their unfiltered opinion, whether you're going to like it or not, right? And that's the kind of straight shooter that Richie is. He's got a very small channel. He's building very slowly. In this kind of market, it's just tough to do, but he's building slowly his subscriber base, and he's worth checking out. Well, Richie came up with the idea that he wanted to burn along with CZ to show some sort of solidarity, right? To show CZ or to show Binance that we as a community, we're in this with you too. If you're going to burn, we'll burn right along with you. And between he and Matthew Perry tried to push this kind of burn initiative kind of thing that went a little awry, but I don't want to get into all that. But anyway, try to push this little burn initiative thing where the community would burn their rewards that they've received from staking. They would burn all their rewards in solidarity along with Binance. Well, I don't know if Matt actually got to burn what he said he was going to burn. I don't know that he didn't. I'm just saying I don't know that he did either. He may have made a video about it that maybe I've missed so far. But I can show you clearly because I know that Richard was originally going to burn 50% of his rewards, which would have been somewhere around 350,000 LUNC. Then he decided, you know what? I'm going to burn them all. Right? And that was 650,000 LUNC. And he burned them on the 1st because that's when the Binance was supposed to burn. And here they are right here. The man actually did it. He took all of his rewards over the last 3 months, I believe, which equaled 650,000 LUNC, and he burned them. It was quite the sentiment. It was, the man was true to his word. Puts his money where his mouth is. 650,000, not even a minor little scratch in the supply. We know that, but it wasn't about that. It was about him saying, "Listen, as a community, let's show him," right? But as far as I see, he's the only one who did it. And I tried to tell Richie when he asked me to get in on this initiative. I told him I'm not going to get in on that initiative. I'm trying to build my bag. I'm enjoying what I'm collecting in rewards, and I know that burning my rewards isn't going to get noticed by anybody. It wasn't going to get noticed by the price. It wasn't going to get noticed by the supply, and CZ was not going to look at it and say, "Oh, gee, look what these guys are doing. That's awesome." I don't see that. I don't see that, right? But he went and he did it. Personally, I would like to have, let's be honest, about $100, right? But $100 is $100. I would like to have seen that $100 maybe get donated to Terra Grants Foundation, where it actually would have been used to do something that would have been measurable. I appreciate these efforts. I really do. And this is how strong this community is. There are people in this community who will take of what they have to do whatever they can if it benefits the rest of the community. So the sentiment is great. It's just that I hope you never do that again, Richie. I really do. I hope you never do it again. If you want to donate it to something that's actually going to make a difference. These burns aren't doing anything, right? I told you that a lot of you weren't going to want to hear this. You weren't going to like it. But the numbers are the numbers, like I said, right? We're not putting a scratch in it. So we talk about utility. Well, utility is something that we can do right now that if we actually did, could actually move the price. And we're working towards those things. The L1 task force is getting the chain updated and upgraded, and we're getting it ready for DApps if they want to use the chain, to use the chain, trying to reach parity where people can come back and forth and without burn tax or whatever, but they can come back and forth and use the chain. That's going to increase volume. Increasing volume will increase these burns, but it will make it more attractive to other people to come in, and that's just something that we can do right now that can actually have an effect. We can burn until we're red in the face this way, and it's not going to have an effect. So that's where we are right now. We got the burn. It was wonderful. Thank you, Binance. Thank you. Right now, you're the only one doing anything for us, so it's very, very appreciated. But let's fall into a little bit of reality about our expectations about what these burns are actually doing or going to do moving forward. At this level, we'll all be dead. Maybe our kids or grandkids will see some sort of benefit from these burns. But if we don't start adding some serious utility and continue to build the network, and then find a way to implement burns on a grand scale, we're not going to get anywhere. And I think that's the path. I think that's what to do, right? So throwing in these little $100, $200, $500 burns right now, you could have kept that in your pocket and wait for the big thing that's going to happen. Wait for us to get the chain going, get this utility going, work through some legal issues that we're dealing with right now, right? Where we need to find out, can we repeg? Can we deal with USTC? Is it caught up in any of this legality? If not, then we move forward and we can do some things that are really probably going to burn an awful lot of these tokens off in different ways, right? That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, in my opinion. I understand some of you disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. Okay, so I just wanted to let you know, if you didn't already know, that Binance went ahead and they did the burn. We got that 1.1 done. It was a long stretch, but we got it done. And Binance was obviously happy with it, and they went ahead and they did that burn. So it's all well and good. And I'm thinking might be talking with Zaradar a little later today. I don't know if we'll do a live thing or a recorded thing, or if he even has time, but it's something he mentioned yesterday. So maybe that'll be coming up later for you. All right, talk to y'all later. Ciao.